You can check out open positions along with learning more about services at ilc.net. Integrated Life Choices.
Are you working in or looking to get into the electrical construction industry? The electrical workers of Local Union 265 are now hiring licensed journeymen and apprentices and are offering great pay and benefits. Call Mike at 402-875-1034 to apply. Start your electrical career today.
Don't miss the Stars home opener on October 7th against the Madison Capitals. It's a Saturday night showdown at the Icebox as Lincoln welcomes an Eastern Conference opponent to the capital city for the first time since 2020. Purchase tickets for the home opener, and you'll get the next day's game for free. Lock in your seats now at LincolnStars.com.
Chances are you're a busy person. Chances are you'd rather not drive down to Beatrice for your favorite desserts. Chances are you'd really benefit from a Lincoln location for all of your fruitcake, liqueur cake, and breakfast bread needs. Insert Beatrice Bakery in downtown Lincoln. 1040 O Street, the new 93.7 The Ticket Studios. Just grab a cake out of the cooler, pay at the counter, and you're headed home with the delicious, fruity, nutty, decadent treat of your choice. Beatrice Bakery, online at beatricebakery.com or now in downtown Lincoln at 1040 O Street.
This is Lincoln's home for sports talk on the FM dial. Also online at theticketfm.com.
On the internet.
KNTK FM Firth, 93.7 The Ticket.
Wall-to-Wall Wine and Spirits is now open in Lincoln. Shop our expansive collection of wine, beer, spirits, and cigars at 5040 North 27th Street. From top-shelf liquor to crowd-favorite beer, Wall-to-Wall Wine and Spirits has a beverage for every taste and every budget. Plus, join our loyalty program to earn rewards and save on future purchases. Shop Wall-to-Wall Wine and Spirits at 5040 North 27th Street in Lincoln. That's 5040 North 27th Street.
Hey, it's Sean Callahan, and football season is here, and there is one place that has all the games, plus great food and beer specials. Tanner's Bar and Grill at 30th and Yankee Hill. Whether it's Thursday night football, college football Saturdays, NFL Sundays, or Monday night football, there's a great view of the game from any seat with different food and drink specials every night. Try the Blue Ribbon Reuben Sandwich or the Prime Rib French Dip or any of their famous chicken wings. That's Tanner's Bar and Grill at 30th and Yankee Hill.
At Allo, we believe in the exceptional. From extraordinary whole home coverage to super fast speeds, our local teams are always on hand to make sure your service is running at top performance. Let go of lag, banish buffering, and enjoy outstanding service throughout your entire home. We believe in delivering nothing less than exceptional service, so that's exactly what we do. Visit us at allofiber.com to experience the exceptional.
October is full of sports, with football and volleyball reaching midseason and basketball and winter sports starting up. All the excitement of the games brings major stress, and stress causes tight muscles and pain. It's time to call The Body Shop, your place in Lincoln for all types of massages. Deep tissue, hydrating, sports, Swedish, hot stone, aroma, and more. And don't forget about their couples massages. Eliminate the pain from sports watching stress today with a massage at The Body Shop at 48th and A and online at thebodyshoplincoln.com.
Hey guys, Jake Sorensen here from Early Break. The garage door at our house has been needing replacement for a couple years, and a few months ago, we finally did something about it. Steve's Garage Doors and Services was great through the whole process in providing options and also going to the next level to get a door that was approved by our HOA. And best of all, the removal of the old door and installation of the new door was done smoothly with no issues. Call Steve's Garage Doors and Services today at 402-480-9462.
Get all of your favorite restaurants delivered with VenueDelivered.com. One place for ordering delicious appetizers, refreshing salads, hot entrees, fresh sandwiches, and more. From Venue Restaurant and Lounge, Piedmont Bistro, and all Lincoln Good Sense Subs locations. Download our phone app to earn rewards on all of your carryout and delivery orders. Available on Apple and Android, just search for the Pillar Restaurants app. That's the Pillar Restaurants app. Download today.
This is the Happy Hour.
You guys going to happy hour?
Coming at you live from the heart of Lincoln, America.
Yeah, I'll come for a couple.
Here are your hosts, Nick Sainert.
I want to know what it's like to commit a crime without having to spend time in jail.
And Enrique Alvarez Clary.
C is for chunk.
Brought to you by Empire Fence and Netting on 93.7 The Ticket and theticketfm.com.
Welcome in. Happy Friday. Happy Nebraska football game day here on the Happy Hour. 93.7 The Ticket, theticketfm.com. Nick Sainert and Rico joining you guys as usual. Rico, what's up, man?
Hello.
How's the day?
So far, so good. Ate
hanging
my
in there.
delicious Good Sense sandwich.
Yes, shout out to Good Sense Fridays and the Pillar Restaurant Group providing us lunch every Friday.
I am still thinking about the Mary Ellens that I got a little bit of last night at our grand opening and wanted a lot more of.
Yeah. So
might have to stop by there at some point.
The disappointing part about this weekend is that with no Nebraska home game, we will not be able to be on the patio on Saturdays at our new station. So unfortunately, won't be able to see you guys. If you guys want to come on by though for the A1 Automotive Ticket Tailgate pregame show later this afternoon, you're more than welcome to come hang out as we get you ready for Nebraska and Illinois. Before we get too far into the show, 402-464-5685, the Honda of Lincoln hotline and the Starter Heyman text line are both open to you guys the entire show today. And we're going to get it right off the bat because we got a full show lined up for you guys this afternoon. So let's go right to the Allo VIP line. Allo VIP line brought to you by Allo Fiber, where they understand the importance of exceptional service with local heart. And to get a little bit more information on the Illinois Fighting Illini, we're going to turn out to Champaign, Illinois, where we're joined by Scott Ritchie of the News Gazette, who covers Illinois football and basketball for the News Gazette. Scott, how are we doing, man? Is the stadium still on fire?
Actually, walked past it this morning. Just probably a little game day walk, and no smoke, no fire, and no lasting damage either.
Good.
The mower and utility vehicle that caught fire on Tuesday night were in essentially a concrete and brick structure underneath the stadium a little bit. So, not news I expected to see on a Tuesday night, but nothing that put today's game in any danger.
I was curious. I mean, what would have happened? What would Illinois have turned to? Would that have been like in a hypothetical? And this is just like a side conversation. In a hypothetical situation to where this game wasn't going to go, do you know what the potential backup plan would have been? Would it have been like Soldier Field with Chicago playing last night on the road? Like, what would have been the backup plan if something more serious would have happened?
I mean, I guess that Soldier Field would have been the option. I mean, I would not have, wouldn't see Illinois, giving up a total home game. He's like,
Exactly,
okay, we'll just fly out to Lincoln and do this again. But yeah, I guess Soldier Field with the Bears not in town. But yeah, we were joking in our office, like which high school football teams were home tonight, and where could Illinois sneak this one in for, their 2,000 closest fans.
Yeah. The good thing is that everything turned out to be okay, and it's going to be Nebraska in Memorial Stadium, in a different Memorial Stadium, just this one in Champaign instead of Lincoln. I guess, Scott, just kind of an overview question here. Illinois started out, and similar to Nebraska, struggled a little bit. The line hasn't necessarily been that great, and some obviously a couple injuries on offense. You obviously Illinois has Reggie Love, who's kind of banged up. I guess, is this something that the people in Champaign and around the Illinois football program kind of saw coming? Was a little bit of a disappointing start after losing some really good talent on defense, losing a defensive coordinator, and then transitioning to a new quarterback as well?
Not really. And we barely got to see any, of this team during the spring. Certainly, during the fall, we didn't see anything. Brett Bielema has closed the doors at Memorial Stadium, sort of contrary to the way it had just always been. Because even Lovie Smith, maybe it was his NFL background, but training camp was always wide open at Illinois, and Lovie kept it that way. Brett Bielema, when he got here, we were still sort of on the tail end of COVID at its peak, but we're not really welcome anymore. Just 15 minutes at the beginning of practice, find out how good these guys stretch. But the narrative we were sold was like this team could be competitive in the Big Ten West, and maybe still could be because it doesn't seem like anyone wants to win the West. But they have not played like that through 5 games, and I think the biggest issue has been, this team's just persistent nature of doing its best to hurt itself with penalties and turnovers and mental errors. And then, there were probably some questions about, essentially an all-new secondary with 4 of the 5 regular starters, at least in an NFL training camp, and 3 of those guys still on rosters. And Devin Witherspoon, obviously now the defensive rookie of the year favorite, but the defensive line was supposed to be a strength. The defensive front, just to include the outside linebackers, and outside of Johnny Newton, they have not been. And it was kind of the same with the offensive line. 3 starters returning, 2 guys with NFL prospects in Julian Pearl and Isaiah Adams. Should have been a strength, and it has not been. So, this is not the way I don't think anyone in Champaign thought that this was going to go.
We're speaking to Scott Ritchie of the News Gazette in Champaign, and I think I'm hesitant to ask this question to begin with because we are here in Lincoln so used to this, probably a little bit of too high of expectations surrounding the Nebraska football program, and even in an early period of a coach, I mean, there are people raising doubts, and not necessarily about Matt Rule, but we saw it pretty quick with Scott Frost of like, oh boy, this might not work. I guess after having Brett Bielema there for a couple of years, and now you mentioned closing the doors to practice and not really necessarily seeing a ton, and now this disappointing start. Are there what's the feel and the vibe around Brett Bielema and the staff in Champaign?
I just think just around the program, like there was excitement for Illinois football heading into this season that I just had not experienced. Because the history of Illinois football is not great. Made it to a bowl game, last season, and they sold 10,000 new season tickets, and fans were excited. And I'm seriously wondering what the crowd's going to be like tonight because it dipped. After the loss to Penn State, Florida Atlantic crowd was not great, and then they turn around and lose by 25 at Purdue. They come back home, and I don't know what it's going to look like. But it's just after last week's loss at Purdue, like I started seeing more people in my mentions like, all right, it's basketball season, and it's kind of been a yearly thing at Illinois. And there was this idea, maybe this is a football team, you make it to back-to-back bowl games. I mean, that's a rarity even. But like people are just ready for basketball, and I guess the good news for them is 1 month from today, Illinois basketball plays its season opener.
Yeah, we might have to ask a couple basketball questions at the tail end of this conversation. I guess looking at Illinois football, they're sitting here with the same record as Nebraska, 2-3. Nebraska's strength of their team has been their defense, although a 45-7 game against Michigan certainly doesn't really back that statement up, but it has been. Nebraska's defense has been the better side of the ball. Tell our listeners and Husker fans a little bit about Illinois' offense, because I know Reggie Love's been banged up. Luke Altmaier has had 7 interceptions this season, I believe. I mean, tell our listeners a little bit more about Illinois' offense and some of the players we might get annoyed at or mad at or frustrated with later tonight when Illinois plays Nebraska.
Sure. Well, Reggie Love has practiced this week, and I think the expectation is he will play. And like Illinois wants to run the ball. Brett Bielema has said since he was hired that his best teams at Wisconsin were balanced between the run and the pass. But like they ran the ball first, and they ran it well. Illinois has not run the ball particularly well this season. Part of it's Reggie Love being banged up, but the offensive line hasn't gotten great push all the time. Josh McCray has just, after last year's injury kind of, sidelined him unexpectedly, like just has not been what he showed as a freshman, this season. I don't think he's just not sure he's the same running back. Could be time to see more of true freshman running back Caden Fagan. I think he had the most carries last week at Purdue, and it's, most of them came late in the game when it was decided. But he's 6'3", 250, and moves like someone that size should not. Really dynamic athlete, 4-star recruit, coming out of small high school, not too far from Champaign actually. So could see more of him. Luke Altmaier, 4 of those 7 interceptions came against Penn State. So that was certainly the low moment of his season so far. The main issue there is just Illinois has really struggled to protect him. I guess that's beyond the interception issue because he had some, early in the first couple games as well. But I think Illinois allowed the most sacks in the Big Ten through 5 games. So that's been a struggle for him, and I think maybe some of the interceptions have come because he's trying to get rid of the ball before he gets hammered in the backfield. But Illinois offense can move the ball. Like Isaiah Williams leads the Big Ten in receptions and receiving yards, and is a really good athlete. And I assume he'll be the primary target again tonight against Nebraska. So that might be a player for the Cornhuskers fans to keep an eye on. But as well as they move the ball at times, they've turned it over quite a bit, and then just can't get it in the end zone. I think they rank 70th maybe in total offense, but they rank 105th nationally in scoring. So there's been a disconnect there, just an inability to finish drives.
We're speaking with Scott Ritchie of the News Gazette, and Scott, you just listed off a bunch of things that aren't very positive about the Illinois offense, and you mentioned Isaiah Williams and how shifty and athletic he really is. But what I want to know is what is the strength of this Illinois team? Like, what is the one thing or two things, however many things they have, that you look at in a positive light and something that the Illini do really well?
Well, I know I mentioned, maybe the defensive front has not played up to expectations this season, but from an individual standpoint, Johnny Newton certainly has. Illinois defensive tackle is projected as a first-round draft pick come next spring, and he shows or has shown, I think, every game why people think so highly of him. Now, as a defensive tackle, you're not going to always generate the most stats, but he's blocked 2 field goals and a PAT, and just he creates havoc up front. And Illinois would like to generate more pressure with his defense on opposing quarterbacks. I think they have 50, somewhere in the mid 50s, maybe total pressures this season. But Johnny Newton has roughly 40% of them by himself. He's been really good. He can't do it all. And Keith Randolph is another defensive tackle that has gotten maybe some real NFL draft buzz, and he's, I think, gotten just steadily better every week. But again, there's just the totality of the defense it certainly has not been as good as last year, but Johnny Newton is as advertised. So if he can get the kind of pressure that Illinois wants against Nebraska, I think that'll be huge for the Illini and trying to slow them down. But not sure how much Nebraska is actually going to throw the ball. So really going to have to be solid, stopping the run. And it's not something Illinois has done great through 5 games, but a guy like Dylan Rosiak, one of their linebackers, is really just this season is the first time he's gotten a full opportunity, at that spot. And he had a pretty good first half against Purdue. Second half, none of them played well, but I think he's another guy to watch in that defense.
We're speaking to Scott Ritchie of the News Gazette in Champaign. Scott, last one before we go ahead and let you go. I guess, how do you see tonight's game going? Is this one that Illinois can take away, or is it kind of just a toss-up where you got 2 teams that are 2-3 here in the season and fighting to stay in bowl contention? And as you said earlier, really in the heart of that Big Ten West race, because it's not very good in general.
At the beginning of the week, I had myself trying to talk myself into picking Illinois, because I think they do have, on sort of the macro perspective of it, probably a better team. Mm-hmm. But just the one thing that Nebraska has done well through 5 games is run the ball, and with a quarterback that can get out and pick up some yards with his feet, that's not something Illinois has handled particularly well. This season now, Harburg's a different kind of running back quarterback that runs that Illinois has maybe struggled with this season. Like, he's not Jalen Daniels at Kansas. He's not DeQuan Fenn at Toledo, but he's been productive on the ground. And I'm not sure if the Illinois defense can figure that out. So had to, like, we all do staff picks in our office, for Friday, for day of the game paper. So Friday in this case today. So last night I picked Nebraska in a close game. I don't know, just a gut feeling.
All right. Well, I think Nebraska fans might be a little more excited now to hear that an Illinois staff writer is picking the Huskers. Scott, we appreciate the time as always, man. We'll have to get you back on during basketball season because Illinois always has Nebraska's number as well in that sport. So appreciate the time as always, man, and we'll talk to you down the road.
Yep, sounds good. Thanks, guys.
That is Scott Ritchie of the News Gazette in Champaign, Illinois. Good stuff from him. Picks the Huskers.
Can't be mad at him now.
Scott picking the Huskers.
Doesn't matter that he writes for Illinois. Can't be mad at him now.
Can't be mad. So, all right, let's take a break. When we come back, we're going to talk to another good friend of ours, Zach Carpenter of Inside Nebraska, get the Nebraska side of things as we get you ready for usual Friday conversation there. We had some scheduling differences and changes with Illinois people. So that is why we got the full show today here on the Happy Hour. Don't go anywhere. Zach Carpenter of Inside Nebraska coming up next.
Follow Nick and Enrique on Twitter at Nick_Sainert and at Radio Rico AC. More of Happy Hour is next on 93.7 The Ticket and theticketfm.com.
You're counting on your team to win, so why not prove it? By placing your bets at Warhorse Sportsbook. Their win is your win. Put your money where your mouth is on nearly every sporting event. Use the Warhorse app to check odds and build your bets before placing your wagers in person at Warhorse Casino, including live in-game betting. No bets, no glory. Wagers may only be placed on Nebraska-based teams when played outside the state of Nebraska. Must be 21 or older to gamble. Gambling problem? Call 1-833-BET-OVER.
Wall-to-Wall Wine and Spirits is now open in Lincoln. Shop our expansive collection of wine.
701 Cornhusker Highway from 7 a.m. to 5 p.m. Monday to Friday. Go to gelandscapesupply.com for more info or call 402-467-1627.
Something spooktacular is happening at Bonsall Pool and Spa. From now until October 14th, visit the Bonsall Spooktacular sale to take advantage of this great cash and carry offer. $400 off all in-stock free-flow spas. Also, customers can take 10% off spa chemical and spa cover orders. Stop by today at 3201 Pioneers Boulevard to take home your free flow spa today. Bonsall Pool and Spa, also online at bonsallpool.com.
Plungers and store-bought chemicals can only go so far and can harm your drains. Call the professionals at John Henry's Plumbing, Heating, Air, and Electrical to get your drains flowing. We won't only make sure the clog is taken care of, but we will ensure your drains are completely clean so the clog will not come back. Give John Henry's a call today.
435-5555. John Henry's Plumbing, Heating, and Air.
And Electrical.
You're listening to the Happy Hour with Nick Sainert.
Even before you start, that was a preemptive
And Enrique Alvarez Clary.
I already had someone created in my image. He's evil, he wants to take over the world, and he fits easily into most overhead storage bins.
On 93.7 The Ticket and theticketfm.com.
Welcome back into the Happy Hour 93.7 The Ticket. Ticket.com.
Why? Why?
Nick Sainer and Rico hanging out with you guys.
Not any better. Just chew it. Just finish it.
Anyway, as always, 402-464-5685. I made the horrible mistake of putting a mint in my mouth during the commercial break, thinking, it'll dissolve by the time we get back on the air.
We're bringing Zach on early because you can't talk.
We bring in Zach Carpenter of Inside Nebraska. Zach, what's up, man? How's life?
Oh, treat me well, man. We got here. Me and Steve made it here safe and sound. Honestly, I know it's always stressful travel, but nothing to really, not much to complain about on this one. But actually, I know people love hearing complaints. The only thing I can't complain about is here over at the hotel. I went to the vending machine, picked out Pringles, and it fell through, and it did that classic thing where it falls onto something else.
Oh, no way.
I didn't get my Pringles.
Oh.
And I just laughed and shook my head. I'm like, I feel like this is something that only happens in sitcoms. I joke with Jansen, our digital guy. I'm like, this sounds like something that would happen to Doug Heffernan and King of Queens.
Yes.
As soon as I said that, I was like, wait, it actually did happen to Doug in an episode of King of Queens. So I'm living a sitcom life right now.
Then you just got to stand there with your hands in your pockets, smiling at the camera.
Yep. Cue the laughing track, as Jansen said.
Yeah.
I started tapping the thing. I'm like, you know what? It's like 8 Pringles. I'm not going to make a scene about it.
Yeah. I have this. I would be pretty annoyed. I'd probably start shaking the vending machine, and trying to tip it over. And then the good thing would happen is that Kevin in the office, where he just breaks the glass and you just take everything. Yeah.
Yeah. Well, thank God, Nick. There's a Taco Bell literally 40 feet from me. I'm looking at it right now.
Nice.
So,
heck yeah.
Honestly, we've talked about Taco Bell before on this show.
We have.
Honestly, might have been a blessing in disguise.
There you go. Anyway,
Taco Bell is fantastic.
All right. So Zach's joining us from just outside Champaign, Illinois. Zach, man, what's your opinion? I guess just let's talk about quarterbacks to begin, because I think it's been relatively quiet. Like, we've had this multi-week conversation of, all right, is Heinrich Harburg now the full-time starter? Is he just the starter during Jeff Sims' injury? It starts to feel like Jeff is now pretty healthy enough to play tonight. All indicators are saying. How do you see this thing kind of shaping up this afternoon and the evening? I mean, where's your mindset on Nebraska's quarterbacks right now?
Well, first off, I think it's pretty clear that Harburg is the starter right now. I mean, I know, how could he not be, right? Like, you going to hold the Michigan game against him? Like, no. And that was probably his best passing day. Like, he showed some progress and improvements there. But after the two great performances, at least running the ball and how effective he was in those two games, and the flashes he showed at Michigan, I mean, he still only had one turnover against arguably the best defense in the country. And I think it's also pretty clear based on the fact that on the official depth chart, I know Harburg and Sims are both listed as co-starters, but previously it was Sims listed on top, Harburg listed on the bottom for 2 weeks, and now the subtle change of Harburg on top, Sims on the bottom of that which is just one of those subtle differences. It's like at the Jack with MJ Sherman now listed at the top with Prince Will and Chief Borders listed below him, but they're all listed as co-backups, even though that's not alphabetical. Sherman's the starter. So a little detail like that, but I mean, I think that Harburg. I think you have to run him out there. And this is the point I was going to make: is people have talked about maybe you have Harburg out there for like 2-3 series in a row, and then you have like a designated series for Sims to come in there. And I have a hard time believing they would do that. I know Rule said earlier this week, like about a potential rotating 2 quarterbacks. He said, "I'll do whatever it takes to win." I just have a hard time believing that they'll do that because this staff is so hell bent on continuity. They preach continuity and consistency so much. I just have a hard time envisioning that they'll be rotating quarterbacks in, or like having Sims come in for a random series in the second quarter, especially if things are going well. Now, if Harburg's struggling and not moving the ball, not being effective on offense like they had been at NIU and La Tech, then maybe you see Sims come in for a spark and like an opportunity to get his feet under him and start building himself back up. But that's sort of how I see it shaping up tonight.
Now, this is kind of a two-parter, but from the quarterback to the guys that are going to be catching the ball, first off, is there any way, any kind of path to seeing Sims line up at a tight end or a wing back and maybe catch a couple of passes from Heinrich in this game or, in the near future? And then at the wide receiver position, we've seen Marcus Washington, we've seen Billy Kemp, we've seen Alex Bullock, and Rule talked about the freshmen working their way up into the depth chart and working their way onto the field. Jalen Lloyd, Malachi Coleman, Jaden Doss. How much do you expect to see from the young guns in the wide receiver room?
Yeah, the first one, I mean, obviously you would expect based on previous history that Harburg would be the one to slot in as a tight end or receiver because he did that against Minnesota and he's repped with the tight ends. I don't think you'd do that with Sims. I don't know if it would be smart to do that. And I mean, tack on the ankle injury that he's still coming back from. I don't think it would be smart to put him in that position. But I mean, hey, we saw Phil Dracovic over there at Pitt is now been practicing at tight end. So I guess anything's possible, but I don't envision that either. But with the young receivers, I know everyone's antsy. I am too, to see those guys get on the field. But like retroactively looking back at sort of analysis in the off season and leading up through fall camp, I feel like I was pretty on the money that like of the timeline of, I don't think that Malachi or those guys, I think it's going to be a slow process. And then maybe mid season or in games 7, 8, 9, that's when you start to see them get some more snaps and get more in the rotations as they just adjust to the college game, college life, and Satterfield's offense. So I feel like because the receiver room has been so thin and created it, or has evolved it into even more thin. I think there's some anxiety of like, why can't we get those young guys out there? But you also don't want to hinder their development if they're not ready or like hurt their confidence levels. But Jaden Doss is interesting because he was the guy that midway, a little past the midway point in fall camp, he was the freshman receiver who was starting to gain the most steam, the most saw his stock rising. We had that one presser day. It was after the first scrimmage, and it was after I think practice like number 14 of fall camp, and that's when Jeff Sims talked about how Doss was really showing out. You had Satterfield talking about him, and his stock was rising on that day. And then, of course, the very next day at the open media practice, the third and final one, is when Doss got hurt with the arm injury, because Nebraska sometimes can't have nice things. As soon as he started to build up and heard praise coming about Doss, then he gets hurt. But I know the staff really likes him. They love what he can bring, and that some of his versatility. And he's traveling with the team this week. And Rule said he hopes that he can finally get in. And I don't know how much he'll get in. I'm sure they'll probably ease Doss back in, but I made on my bold predictions. I said if Doss plays, I have him going for 4 catches for 50 yards and a touchdown. Which, do I actually believe that's going to happen? I don't know. I think it's a possibility, I guess, but I would expect that if he plays, they'll ease him back in and not give him the heavy workload. And sort of what we've seen from how they've handled the young receivers so far this year.
We're speaking to Zach Carpenter of Inside Nebraska. And Zach, I guess Nebraska's going to get Cameron Lenhart back this week, or tonight, I guess, against Illinois. How big is that? Because Nebraska's had a couple freshmen. Prince Will obviously has been talked about a lot this week, it feels like. They'll get Cameron Lenhart back, and then a little bit of Riley Van Poppel we've seen at times throughout the last couple of weeks of the year. I guess just how encouraging of a sign is that, and then how big of an addition is Cameron Lenhart returning to Nebraska's defense this Friday, or I should say tonight? Goodness.
Yeah, I mean, it's pretty big. You saw the Nebraska social media team put out the pregame hype video, and Cam Lenhart was the first one there, looking menacing and just with the word attack. So I'm sure they wouldn't feature him if he wasn't expected to be back to full strength. And I think that's just one small way to underline the importance of his return. I know he's only a freshman, but he's been a breakout freshman. And last time we heard from him was obviously before the injury, 6 snaps against NIU before he went down. Last time we heard him saw him making noise was 2 sacks in the same series against Colorado. And we saw what he brings to the table. He's extremely important in that rotation. He's a co-starter. And Nebraska, they were tied for the nation lead in sacks with 14 going into the Louisiana Tech game, and then 0 over the past 2 weeks. And Louisiana Tech's a little different. That was based on strategy. I mean, Nebraska wasn't bringing extra pressure, and Louisiana Tech air raid offense, trying to get the ball out quick. So there weren't really many opportunities for sacks, but then Michigan's offensive line is as strong as it gets. So I think he brings such an added dynamic to that. And Riley Van Poppel, like you said, these young guys, like Rule has been pretty consistent with wanting to bring those guys along, like those two, Prince Will and even Sua Lefotu. And I think it's crucial to get those guys extra reps, and they've been making the most of them. So I'm excited to see what Lenhart brings tonight. He's hopefully back to full strength.
What did you gather, Zach, from just the demeanor of a couple of the coaches this week? Because I've been going back and forth on that after a 45-7 loss to Michigan, right? And nobody really expected Nebraska to win. They expected them to be competitive and not fall over, split in half and fall over and have the game out of belief and out of reach by the end of the first quarter. It felt like in Memorial Stadium. I guess after that game on Monday, Matt Rule comes out and is pretty fired up, understandably so. And Tony White, same way. I guess like they chose this week to publicly show that and publicly discuss in that manner. And I wonder, they must have a pretty good amount of confidence that this team will bounce back, because they can't come out next week after losing to Illinois and say the same thing and expect it to carry the same amount of weight.
And you can't come back after Rule said in the immediate aftermath in the post game press conference for Michigan, like,
yeah,
we'll find out what this team is made of. We'll find out who we are. We'll find out how I am as a coach. We'll find out against Illinois. And then if you come out and lay another egg, it's like, all right, well, I guess we.
Yeah, it puts
found out.
It puts a lot of weight on tonight's game.
Yeah, I love that from my perspective, and I think that that sense of urgency, though, it feels like it's needed after going out and just Michigan dog walked them throughout the entire game, and Nebraska laid down effort wise. And I think that's what you've seen. You've seen two things, I think, from the coaches this week is, number one, pissed off. Like Tony White was clearly, and Rule, they were clearly angry, and also surprised. Like I don't think they saw that coming. I didn't either. Like I thought my final score prediction was Michigan 34, Nebraska 7. So score wise, sure, it was close to what the final score actually was, but I envisioned the game going completely differently, where it was going to be a 17-7 type of game into the third quarter, and then Michigan just slowly pulls away those 3-4 yard runs by Corum, then turn into like 10-12 like over the course of the game, and they pull away. I didn't expect it to be that type of final score where there was just no fire intensity, and obviously not having Luke Reimer and then Deshaun Singleton going down so early on defense, that did have an impact. But I mean, that's not an excuse. Like that's not enough to have a team wide lack of effort there, and neither is going against Michigan. Michigan's awesome, but still, I thought it was going to be a game where Michigan came in confident, and then Nebraska would give them a fight and be physical and aggressive, and then I thought Michigan would be leaving the stadium like with a comfortable win, but saying like, "Oh, we gotta watch out for Nebraska." Yeah, they were giving it to us. That was a classic Big Ten like physical battle, and then that just didn't happen. It was so one-sided. So I think, I was surprised from that standpoint. I think the coaches were too. Like I bet they thought somewhat similar as far as how they were going to come out and respond to that opportunity, as they called it, that challenge. And so I think that's another reason why you're seeing the clear messaging through the media, which, side note, not to keep rambling, but it's always interesting that now Rule is so public about the fact that I'm sending a message to my team. It's kind of refreshing because coaches do that, but he's very upfront about like, I'm talking to my team here.
Yeah. Zach, we are going to have to let you go, unfortunately, because we're up against the clock. I guess just really quickly, do you see Nebraska getting the win tonight?
Yeah, I got Nebraska 17, Illinois 13. I think it's just going to be one of those classic, beautifully gross Big Ten West football games on a weird Friday night game in a weird place to play in Champaign. Like, could be a sleepy game on Friday night, and it's just sort of how I envision it going. Wouldn't surprise me at all if Illinois pulls it out, but ultimate swing game for both teams. Winners right in the thick of the Big Ten West race, believe it or not.
Yeah.
And loser just sees their bowl game odds really take a significant dip. But I've got Nebraska pulling it out.
There you go.
You don't see anybody lighting the field on fire. Got it.
No, not tonight.
There you go.
Not
awesome.
Tonight. Maybe over the weekend. Who knows? I don't know when Illinois is homecoming.
That's a good point. All right, Zach. Hey, appreciate it as always, man. Good to talk to you after taking a couple weeks off here, and have a safe trip back to Lincoln after hopefully a Nebraska win tonight.
Yeah, appreciate you guys having me on. Looking forward to it.
That
Look
is
forward to it next week.
That is Zach Carpenter of Inside Nebraska. Appreciate his time as always. Let's go and take our final timeout. It's Friday. It's the last segment of the happy hour. You know what that means. Weekend picks. Woo. We'll play the music. We'll bring Strick in. And no Austin today until next Friday, as he's on baby duty. Baby watch is official. Herbert watch is official, and it's commenced. So it's begun. And however, Austin did send me his weekend picks, so we don't skip a week with Austin just being gone. Austin did text me his weekend picks, so we'll fill you guys on what Austin says and get the picks from me, Rico, and Strick coming up after this as we wrap up the happy hour on 93.7 The Ticket.
Download our app by searching 93.7 The Ticket in your app store to stay in touch and listen all day long wherever you are. More of the happy hour is next on 93.7 The Ticket and theticketfm.com.
Hey, it's Sean Callahan, and football season is here, and there is one place that has all the games, plus great food and beer specials. Tanner's Bar and Grill at 30th and Yankee Hill. Whether it's Thursday night football, college football Saturdays, NFL Sundays, or Monday night football, there's a great view of the game from any seat with different food and drink specials every night. Try the Blue Ribbon Reuben Sandwich or the Prime Rib French Dip or any of their famous chicken lips. That's Tanner's Bar and Grill at 30th and Yankee Hill.
Plungers and store-bought chemicals can only go so far and can harm your drains. Call the professionals at John Henry's Plumbing, Heating, Air, and Electrical to get your drains flowing. We won't only make sure the clog is taken care of, but we will ensure your drains are completely clean so the clog will not come back. Give John Henry's a call today.
435-5555. John Henry's Plumbing, Heating, and Air.
And Electrical.
Rico here with HIS Auto Care at 70th and Van Dorn, letting you know HIS is a great place to bring your vehicle for service. With superior service bumper to bumper, we'll treat your vehicle like it's your mother's. It doesn't get any better than that. So call 402-488-8934 and HIS Auto will make you glad you did. 5% off, mention this ad, and for sure your mother will be proud you called. 402-488-8934, HIS Auto Care, 70th and Van Dorn. God bless you.
Something spooktacular is happening at Bonsall Pool and Spa. From now until October 14th, visit the Bonsall Spooktacular sale to take advantage of this great cash and carry offer. $400 off all in-stock free-flow spas. Also, customers can take 10% off spa chemical and spa cover orders. Stop by today at 3201 Pioneers Boulevard to take home your free flow spa today. Bonsall Pool and Spa, also online at bonsallpool.com.
This is Brian at Midwest Bank, and we've been proudly serving clients in the Lincoln community since 2008, and we're excited to open a second location in January 2024 at 70th and Pioneers Boulevard. Our new branch will provide all the convenient services you're looking for in a bank, along with the friendly staff we're known for. Whether you're starting a business or expanding your business, our team is here for you, your community, your bank, Midwest Bank. Find out more at midwestbank.com, member FDIC.
Working at Continental in Lincoln isn't a job, it's a career. And right now, they've raised wages again, and they're hiring for production operators at $24.62 per hour, which grows to $28.97 per hour within 3 years. Skilled trade positions now start at $33.36 per hour, with opportunities to make more based on certifications. Continental also has salary jobs available and great benefits, plus medical and prescription costs at very low premiums. Dental, vision, and life insurance are offered at no premium cost to the associates, with increased bonuses and vacation for new hires. To learn more or apply, go to continentaljobs.com with keyword Lincoln. Come work at Continental today.
It's fishing season. Bad actors are trolling your business emails, luring you and your employees to take the bait and steal your private information. Make sure your cybersecurity keeps your business from being the catch of the day. At Hamilton, cybersecurity is our business. We are experts at keeping your network and business information secure and off the hook. Contact Hamilton for a vulnerability assessment today. Hire your local experts. Hire Hamilton at hamiltonisbusiness.com.
Problem gambling can destroy an individual's finances, relationships, physical, and mental health. If you are a loved one or struggling with addiction, contact Choices Treatment Center's 24-hour helpline at 402-476-2300. That's 402-476-2300.
Are you working in or looking to get into the electrical construction industry? The electrical workers of local union 265 are now hiring licensed journeymen and apprentices and are offering great pay and benefits. Call Mike at 402-875-1034 to apply. Start your electrical career today.
October is full of sports, with football and volleyball reaching mid-season and basketball and winter sports starting up. All the excitement of the games brings major stress, and stress causes tight muscles and pain. It's time to call The Body Shop, your place in Lincoln for all types of massages. Deep tissue, hydrating, sports, Swedish, hot stone, aroma, and more. And don't forget about their couples massages. Eliminate the pain from sports watching stress today with a massage at The Body Shop at 48th and A and online at thebodyshoplincoln.com.
Tune in to the Teammates Mentoring Hour each Wednesday from 6 to 7 p.m. on 93.7 The Ticket. Hear stories from the program started by Tom and Nancy Osborne and how it's changed mentors and mentees' lives and how you can be involved. The Teammates Mentoring Hour, Wednesday nights from 6 to 7 o'clock on 93.7 The Ticket and theticketfm.com.
You're listening to the Happy Hour with Nick Sainert.
This is a house of learned doctors.
And Enrique Alvarez Clary.
As soon as your eyes shut, I'm going to punch you square in the face.
On 93.7 The Ticket and theticketfm.com.
It is time for weekend picks here on the Happy Hour. 93.7 The Ticket, theticketfm.com. Once again, I said it earlier, I'll say it again. Austin, although he's out for the next week or so, he did send in his picks.
I knew it.
He did send in his picks, so no ground being made up by Stricky here. Guys, the good thing about being down here on 11th and O Street is you see a lot of cars, and every now and then cars get pulled over. And if we look to our right through the production studio window, we see a vehicle that was pulled over. If the police officer's listening, shout out to the police officer. If the car's listening, well, shout out to the car for getting pulled over.
How dare you?
In a 25-mile-per-hour zone.
I don't know what you did, but how dare you?
Yeah. Nonetheless, it is weekend picks time. Stricky, how's life, man?
Life is great. Life is great.
Good.
I'm still just blown away. Just about the beauty of the location we are. It's just so much action. It's always something going on. And then
grand
last night
was
phenomenal. Yeah, it was a great time last night. Got a chance to bump and grind and shake some hands. But I'm a little I almost had to pause you. But I'm a little no.
We almost had to pause.
Yeah, what are you talking about?
Well, I mean,
you're the one that got
you were doing what?
I mean,
shaking hands.
Yeah, rub shoulders, bump elbows.
Oh, okay.
All that. That's what I mean.
Right.
But look, you stupid. No, but I was really disappointed. I was upset yesterday because my guy Charles from Mary Ellen's Food for the Soul broke off the whole group and hooked us up and took good care of us. And listen, you guys ate all the food, bro.
Don't you guys?
I
knew it was
got
Nick,
beans
man.
and potato salad.
You ate up all the food.
I got
bro.
beans and potato salad.
I got beans and 3 little pieces of ribs.
I didn't even. They said the little fish nugget.
The catfish.
Yeah, the catfish was just phenomenal.
That's what everybody said.
Tap in. And I'm sitting here watching Amon during our show. Me and Klesser on WTF last night.
He was
and
snacking.
Amon was going in on us, and I'm like, bro, like
I was in
you're hurting
line.
my heart.
Right. I was in line, and I got right up to there, right up at the front. And then they started the speeches. I'm like, I'm not going to load my plate while Mark and DP and Becky are talking. So I waited. And then after they were done, they're like, okay, let's go take a picture. And I was like, okay, I was looking, I'm like, there's enough food. I'll be all good. Go out, take the picture, come back in, got to wait in line again.
Gonzo.
The food was so good that everybody ate it all.
Yep.
Yeah.
Gonzo.
Yeah, they hooked us up.
All right,
He brought a lot of food too.
It was not that issue. Let's go ahead and pause 10 seconds for station identification. You're listening to the Happy Hour on 93.7 The Ticket.
This is Lincoln's home for sports talk on the FM dial. Also online at theticketfm.com.
On the internet.
KNTK FM Firth, 93.7 The Ticket.
All right, it's that time of the week, and it's that time of the day. Let's go and do our weekend picks. Rico, hit the music. There it is. All right, weekend picks. Just a quick record update. I am 41-24. Rico is 27-35. Austin, 1 game above 500 at 32-31. And Strick is 10-13. We all had pretty similar weeks last week.
I've had back-to-back 500 weeks.
You were
That makes me sad.
Yeah, you were 6-6 the last 2 weeks. Yeah. All right, here we go. Let's start first with the Red River Showdown. Number 12, Oklahoma versus number 3, Texas. 11 a.m. kickoff on ABC. Texas is a 5.5-point favorite.
Oklahoma has looked really good early in the season. They've been putting up a boatload of points every single week. But I think Texas has had the rougher go of it. Like they face better talent.
They have.
And I think that they're just more prepared for this one. So I think I'm going to go with Texas.
Tricky?
Yeah, I mean, I like Dylan Gabriel's having a great year, 15 touchdowns, two interceptions, better than the start of his campaign there. But I just feel that this Texas team is a little bit different than the ones in the past. And you can tell by the way Quinn Ewers lost the weight and got himself ready and prepared for this year. So I'm just going to roll with Texas. Yeah, I'm going to roll with Texas.
Quinn Ewers, 10 touchdowns at one INT this year. Obviously still has Xavier Worthy on the perimeter as well. On the edge. No Bijan Robinson, though, this season for Texas. Strick's taking Texas. I'm taking Texas. Austin's taking Oklahoma.
I know it.
To cover the 5.5.
Of course he is.
All right, next one, we go to the Big Ten Conference. It's the Maryland Terrapins, and a team that probably should be ranked this year, or this week, going up against number 4 Ohio State. Ohio State, a whopping 19.5-point favorite against the 5-0 Terps. This one is big noon kickoff.
Not even hard for me. Maryland covers.
Okay.
Not even hard. I don't know if they win the game. I feel they're not as physical.
Yeah.
So they're not gonna do what Notre Dame did to Ohio State, which Notre Dame probably should win that game, but it's whatever.
Right.
But I think they can score with the best of them, and they actually have a pretty solid defense. So I think Maryland covers.
I would even given a bigger chance had this been in Maryland, being that it's in the shoe. I don't think Maryland's scared of them, but I do think they'll cover.
So Ohio State covers?
No, I'll say Maryland
covers. Okay, so how about this? A clean sweep. All 4 taking Maryland to cover in this one.
All right, so we all lost that one.
We go back to the SEC. Well, I guess not back.
Not yet.
Not yet. Number 23 LSU travels to number 21 Missouri.
Trap game.
Oh.
Trap game.
This game is 11 a.m. on ESPN. Missouri is a 5.5-point underdog.
Oh, okay. At home.
LSU is favored by 5.5 on the road at Missouri. Elijah Drinkwitz has the Tigers of Missouri 5-0.
Which Daniels is this? Jaden Daniels. I don't know, man. I just don't want to believe in Missouri. I know they're 5-0.
Okay.
I know they're ranked, but I think LSU goes in and takes care of business.
Stricky?
After a couple of disappointing defeats, I think LSU has to feel that they've got to get back on track.
Okay.
And so I think I got to roll with LSU as well.
I'm going to do Missouri.
Ooh, different Tigers.
And Austin is taking Missouri.
Ooh.
Super locking Missouri.
What?
Wow.
Austin is super locking Missouri. All right, moving
Austin.
on. Number
He
10.
must have been up all night.
Number 10, Notre Dame travels to number 25, Louisville. People forget Jeff Brom in his first year with the Cardinals has Louisville obviously in the top 25 and 5-0. This is 6:30 p.m. kickoff on ABC. Notre Dame, a 6.5-point favorite.
I am a maybe not noted, but I'm going to say noted fan of the Louisville Cardinals.
That's
and
stupid. No, you're not.
I am. Dude, I love Louisville.
Okay, go ahead.
And
so is it Louisville?
I'm going to take Louisville.
He's going to take Louisville. Strick?
I've got to go with Notre Dame on this one.
Me and Austin take Notre Dame as well. Okay, side bet in college football. This is a big...
Is it a Notre Dame thing?
No, it is not.
Oh, okay.
This is an entire college football.
Ah, okay.
All right. There are 8 games featuring a ranked opponent, a ranked team and an unranked team. Over under 1.5 ranked teams losing.
Do you have the list of the teams?
I can list the teams. So once again, unranked versus ranked.
Yep.
It is not a ranked versus ranked because then they're cheating the system. There.
Exactly.
So your 8 games for top 25: Maryland, Ohio State, Virginia Tech, Florida State, Texas A&M, Alabama, Syracuse, North Carolina, Minnesota, Michigan, Arkansas, Ole Miss, Georgia Tech, Miami, Wyoming, Fresno State, California, Oregon State, and Arizona, USC.
And what's the side bet?
Out of those 8 games, 1.5 ranked teams losing.
Under.
Over 1.5 ranked teams losing.
Under. I had 2 when you were reading it. I was trying
So
to
that's
keep a tally. No, that I think could, but I'm
Okay.
going to go under. I think only 1 does.
You're going to go under? Okay. Strict?
Oh, 1.5. That means 2 of them would have to
2
lose.
of them would have to lose.
There was really only 2 of them that I was like, that one could happen.
Ooh.
Look, if Minnesota beats Michigan,
They won't.
Look,
I mean,
that's-
even UCLA has a chance to beat Washington State, so that's possible. And is Texas A&M ready to
A&M's
step
quarterback,
up?
Texas A&M quarterback out for the year.
I'm gonna go under.
You're gonna go under?
You and Austin went over, didn't you? I went under.
Me and Austin went over.
Of course you did.
Yeah.
Me and Austin both went over. All right, on to the NFL. This is we'll go a little quicker here. Texans at the Falcons. 1.5 point favorite are the Falcons. This kickoff at noon on Fox.
Bijan Robinson is a leader. Texted Desmond Ritter, met with Desmond Ritter, was telling him, hey, we can get this turned around.
Okay.
Give it to Falcons, baby.
Falcons, okay. Strick.
At home, 1.5. Yeah, I'm gonna go Falcons.
I'm gonna go with the Texans. Austin also goes with the Texans.
Strick, this is our time to turn it around.
Yeah,
This is
seriously.
about to be
Or
it.
just get buried.
This has got to be our week.
Next
bro.
up, this one is the second largest spread of the weekend.
Oh, perfect.
Noon kickoff on Fox. The Carolina Panthers travel to Detroit and face against the Lions. Lions are 10-point favorites.
I know you went with the Lions.
Yeah, I'm going Lions.
The Panthers look decent, but the Lions look better. I would go Lions.
Okay. You going Lions?
I
too,
think the
Stricky?
Lions are
10's
serious.
a lot, but yeah.
10 is a lot. I go with the Lions. Austin, all by himself on an island. He takes Carolina to cover. All right. In the biggest spread of the weekend, the New York Giants travel to Miami. The Dolphins are a 12-point favorite.
The Giants.
Revenge week for me. I'm going Dolphins.
The Giants look trash. 12 is a lot, though. But, I mean, they dropped 70 points on the
Yeah,
Broncos.
it's a revenge week.
Yeah, I think
They
I
feel
think I'll go Dolphins.
they're upset about that Bills.
Austin's going Dolphins. I am going Giants.
Okay.
And Strick's phone's ringing.
Wow.
Gosh, interrupting the music.
Very good.
This one's real interesting. We got 2 games left.
Okay.
3:05 p.m. on Fox. The Cincinnati Bengals against the Arizona Cardinals.
Jeez.
The Bengals are a 3-point favorite.
Yeah.
Both teams 1-3.
I'm going Cardinals just because the Bengals just don't want it.
Okay.
The Bengals start off slow every single year. It's time to get right. Bengals super lock.
Bengals super lock. All right. How about that? All right. By the way, Stricky, you do have a super lock to use at some point here. All right. So I take Bengals. Austin's also taking Bengals. In the Sunday night game, Cowboys versus 49ers. 49ers 4-point favorite.
Niners.
Okay.
Brock Purdy.
Stricky?
And the Niners are playing who?
The
Cowboys. Go ahead, do it. I know you want to.
Yeah, do what you did against
I'm going
Arizona.
Niners super lock.
Oh.
Niners super lock?
Yeah. Yeah.
Well, now I don't feel good about my Niners pick.
All right, so Strick is super lock in that. I'm going to actually super lock the side bet that more than one ranked team loses.
Okay.
All right, there we go, because I don't feel good about any of the other games. All right, so there it is. Our weekend picks, they're in the vault. They will not be changed.
What about tonight?
Oh, that's right. Nebraska versus Illinois. Thank you, Rico. Nebraska versus Illinois. Illinois, a 3.5-point favorite. This kickoff, 7 p.m. on FS1.
Nebraska, Heinrich Harburg. This is his get right game.
Okay.
And yeah,
What's the
Nebraska
spread?
will win.
Illinois by 3.5.
I'm just gonna roll. I'm just I feel like the Cowboys with this group, but I'm gonna go Huskers.
Nebraska?
I'm
There
gonna
it
go
is,
Huskers.
Strick. There it is.
I got a freshman
gonna
wide
go
receiver
Huskers.
scoring a touchdown.
No. All four
Wow.
of us take Nebraska.
Just no on the freshman wide receivers? Just one of them.
Side bet it.
Anthony Grant.
Side bet it for the stricken.
No, because you won't pay.
Him.
He won't pay.
Yeah,
Oh, he never pays.
He never pays.
What are you talking about?
That's it.
I paid up on everything.
We got a minute left here.
What haven't I paid up on?
Stricky,
I was
Stricky
signing
got him
up
all
for
fired up. Got him all fired up.
Ridiculous.
All right, we got about a minute left here. The weekend picks are in the vault.
Where's your Scully? Where's your skull cap at?
Not here today.
For no hair. Oh, milk dud
Dang.
looking.
Dang.
The animosity
yeah,
here
this is you
is
guys.
crazy.
Stricky, we got a good show lined up
We
today,
do,
my man.
we do. We're gonna have a great conversation today, man. Nick and I are gonna be working together for the next week, so definitely tune in. We're gonna definitely get into Husker talk. We're gonna have some top breakdowns on some of the big games of the week in college football. We'll have a little open discussion. We'll love to hear from you on the text line. We'll answer some of your questions as well as maybe a call or so. NFL topics, and we'll have Andrew Alex to jump in and have some ACC talk in football at about 3:30.
So there you go. Stick around on the block with Strick and Nick today. We'll see that for the next week or so as Austin is getting ready to be a papa. I am a papa. A papa.
Papa is a grandpa.
No.
He can't be a papa.
A padre.
Be a papa.
He could be a papa.
Papa.
Y'all are silly. Get off the line.
Hey, Strick, what were you doing last night?
Oh, bumping and grinding.
There it is. That'll do it. Thanks to Scott Ritchie of the News Gazette Champaign. Thanks to Zach Carpenter. We'll talk to you guys on Monday.
Adios.
Whether you're looking for a place to stay for a concert at PBA, a Nebraska home game, or just a night on the town, the Courtyard Lincoln Downtown Haymarket is the place for you. Enjoy an evening at one of many restaurants or bars within a short walking distance. Business travelers at the hotel will enjoy free high-speed internet access, a 24-hour business center, and large in-room workstations. And check out the Bistro, where you'll enjoy healthier food and beverage options, as well as high-tech conveniences. Book your room today at the Courtyard Lincoln Downtown Haymarket.
Are you working in or looking to get into the electrical construction industry? The electrical workers of local union 265 are now hiring licensed journeymen and apprentices and are offering great pay and benefits. Call Mike at 402-875-1034 to apply. Start your electrical career today.
Wall-to-Wall Wine and Spirits is now open in Lincoln. Shop our expansive collection of wine, beer, spirits, and cigars at 5040 North 27th Street. From top shelf liquor to crowd favorite beer, Wall-to-Wall